Hello, everyone, and welcome back to some more Defcon 2 action here. As we are in our game number 2 against Versalite and Koch. As Koch now got the name changed for game number 2, and we are once more packed because the rules were really confusing, and we made a bit of a mistake, but I think actually it's not really a mistake from our end, but rather in the rule set, which made it so a team 1 otherwise would have been super favored. So we read it as each game one team can choose which faction they played, and they picked NATO first time, and we picked Pact second time. So we play 2 times Pact, they play 2 times NATO. From the next round onward, it will be more balanced, but there will be 1 game Pact, 1 game NATO. But it's also changed the pick and ban phase so that it is a balanced situation between the Team 1 and Team 2. Because of the old rule set, Team 1 was heavily favored otherwise. Because you picked maps first, and then that team picked faction. And if they knew like map 1 is NATO favored and map 2 is Pact favored, because they also can pick the second map, so they can set it up like that. They have the favorite faction in both maps, which obviously is not fair. And so they changed it now that the maps get picked after the first faction is picked, so that each team can pick a map favorite to the faction they gonna play on. And yeah, let's talk about the game. 6th and 5th Blinde versus 4th Mordschützen and 25th. Our plan was to go hard in the middle and get some space, as they have less forward deployment. Plus, we have forward deployment ATGMs, and that's exactly what we got to use here against the spies. And trying to shoot down MX-10s early is big. MX-10 here coming around. Razvedka trying to get some shots on target. And we moved up. So we have Rapiras around. Rapiras was the plan for 4th, like Rapiras and everything else with the Bastion missile. Really good there, the T-55s against the French tanks. And the T-55 AM2s, not that bad in general. First plane here killed as well. Jaguar going down. Bartholomeus getting a good kill there. Stopping the Jaguar HE from getting a good run in. Whilst Fallschirmjäger's here fighting against the crab. Spies, VAB, immediately under fire. Immediately gets blown up. Good positioning all around. Both sides playing really passive in the north, but they do come in with a big push over here. This is super scary, as we have light defenses there. Razvedka coming along. T-55s being bought because we realized that's quite the force there to put there, so likely there's more behind it. Fallschirmjäger Einsatztruppe coming along here as well as the T-64s. Try to maneuver around, getting a kill against 1 unit. Rapira here in a good spot as well to deal with the MX-10. So that one falls back. 1 T-55A in the middle goes down. A lot of good French ATGMs. Like the French obviously build around a lot of light forces, and commandos here coming in with the Puma, trying to get some more units here for this attack as quick as possible, as 4 AMX-30Bs come in. 2 Roland 3s behind it. BMP-2K actually gets shut down here by the Milan Legion P4 there as well. AMX-30B2 goes down in the middle. Razvedka BMP-2 falling back. MiG-21 bomber getting in there, realizing that there are 2 Rolands. So that's important knowledge, information to get out of this as well. As the enemy comes in with commandos. Razvedka moving around. And yeah, our CV getting sniped in the middle kind of killed our plan of going into Dimitri quickly, so we slowed it down a bit. Enemy recon had to be pushed out here. We wanted to hold this open space with our long-range tanks and ATGMs, whilst the enemy tried to come around with super boomers, and that just ran into the Shilka. Shilka, really good buy there. Otherwise, these commandos could have been really unpleasant on this flank. So getting the kill there, absolutely key. And now the MX-30s are outnumbered and outgunned with all the infantry around. So kind of stopped there. MX-10 trying to come over the open field here. Gets shut down as well. Scraps fighting the Vulture Medis here. Motostraki trying to push over the open field as well. ATGMs all around. MX-30 goes down against the T-64. That's why we picked that division. T-64 is somewhat slow, but cost efficient in the gunfights here. Can have max range engagements with the French. And then the lighter 4th Modschützen is supposed to fill the gaps in between those T-64s. Like killing off enemy gazelles. And having T-55s that still can do the job, but not as cost efficient. B1 over here gets side-shotted by an ATGM. Goes up in flames as well. As the Einsatztruppe pushes a bit forward. The ATGM units there doing a good job. And yeah, Motostrelke here under fire. T-64 engaging as the first AMX of 1 artillery piece on the battlefield. Hitting this position. So artillery game has begun. Mirage cluster coming in. Trying to find a hit, but not really going for one just yet. MiG-29 coming around again. Bartholomeus coming around. And going for the gun run. Jaguar seat coming in. MiG-29 is lucky. And will get out alive with a lot of damage. Due to the roll-ons there. As Fallschirmjäger falling back over here. One more in the middle. Holding the line. Whilst we have this really good quick fire 155mm on the French side out there now as well. We have a guy at the gun. Ready to fire. Now one. Trying to get some shots on here. A lot of damaged units here, but we stopped the MX-30s for the most part. So the French still annoying in this forest. Coming around with a lot of MX-10 hots actually, but the MX-30 is all down, so really pushing in right isn't an easy task. Both sides a bit down. I got an early infantry in here into the town to potentially threaten this later. But for now, no real business there. The fights are around here and down here in this part of the map. Su-27 trying to get a hit against the seat. Fails to do so. Artillery coming in for the Super Puma. And lands way off with the first shot. Second shot is pretty good. But the Puma gets out before the next one lands. T-55 goes down to the artillery over here. Next 152mm artillery piece out on the battlefield. Conquers coming up to try to deal with the front line. Su-27 flying around in the rear. More artillery coming in. Hauptclever trying to get into good spots here in the middle. Just scouting out for the T-64s and T-55s. French, big advantage in stealth is pretty dangerous. And they have a lot of good ATGMs. Like the Hot 2s here on these AMX-10s. Coming around for 5th Blinde. Artillery aiming for the next Puma. And this time around, we get a direct hit and a direct fireball. Just taking this one out. As the battlefield here littered with bodies. Shot down planes, for example. So this is originally on the map. Well, these guys here didn't have a good time. Artillery coming in everywhere. And we start to take some losses again. So this is pretty painful. We need to turn this around again and not let this become another game like game number 1 where our infantry gets us soaked up by the enemy vehicles and we just keep replacing that and the enemy builds up bigger and bigger forces. But we have the heavier divisions, especially with the 25th Tankovi on our side this time around, so that should help. As MX-10 RC sits around here. 152mm artillery piece coming in. Bit of a flanking maneuver here now. Trying to enter the buildings here and trying to shut down any reinforcement roads this path and potentially attacking this spot. Coming in as the French focused heavily on trying to attack our point, plus holding the middle, where we do a pretty decent job. So I thought this might be a good idea. of trying to stretch something. Jaguar found us here though, and gets our Faltermegas out immediately. Whilst 152mm artillery pieces here, trying to come along, trying to get some hits. Gun shots onto the Rajvetka and the Conquerors. Good hits there. T-55 pushing through the middle. Hitting the spies, Falchamega Medis having to disengage. Seed planes coming in. French only having one Martel on these, but at least having a quick reload time so that they can come around time and again. 50% ECM on these as well. And trying to find some of our planes here. We have SU-27, so we can be decently good against those as well. SU-22 seed plane coming around on our side. No radar AA around here though. The Roland 3s are around in the south, but don't have a target. Mirage cluster coming in here and tries to find an attack run. As the SU-22 27 shoots once here. Mirage falling back once more. MX-10 coming in. Whilst we try to spot the enemy there. Seedplane under attack. S-22 seedplane moving down here now as well. Trying to stop the cluster. Cluster did get a drop off though. Will hit the Priusa and the Shilka at the same time. Seedplane gets a Roland. Cluster plane goes down. But so does the SU-27. So in the end, Roland and the cluster bomber for 2 AA pieces here. And the SU-27. Pretty fair trade. But heavy losses on both sides. 3 piece here coming in on top of this AMX-10. Good hits so far. But slightly off target there now. The last 2 shots have to be hitting. And only one does. So this thing actually survives with 1 hit point. Quite unfortunate. As these guys do reload now to try to deal with this Milan 2 team. Schmeltron flying around, trying to spot as much as possible. Strela gets the fireball there. And shoots down the enemy Gazelle on the horizon. So the T-55s can push in here now finally. BMP-2K trying to come along. Trying to capture this. Jaguar bomber coming along again to try to stop us over here. And we don't have any good AA around there. Fortunately, they don't quite get the kill. Coops on the way. Artillery coming in here. Trying to get some hits. Master on the battlefield as well. Yes, T-55s here now. Trying to kill off the lighter vehicles on the enemy side. T-55 with the long-range missile. 1 MX-10 RC also going down over there. Trying to flank around. Spies under attack. Milan out of ammo. Cluster bomber coming in. The BMP-2 just barely not moving into the zone. And he has a P4 there as well though. T-55 AM2 versus MX-10. Both sides do miss. Milan 2 team here on the fire. And there we go. That's where the T-55s come in. MX-10 goes down. Milan 2 goes down. Start cleaning out the center. But the CV once more goes down. That's a bit of a problem. Jaguar AT trying to come around. Seat plane trying to come around as well. Strela tries to get a shot out. Does miss though. Milan 2 team see over here. Getting some shots out. Seat plane lanes coming around. MiG-29 once more out of here after being repaired. Bartholomeus trying the best to keep this up here. As artillery pieces coming in for the Legionnaires. T-55 moving through the middle as another SPW. Slowly moves up there. Point-wise, really, really close game. Enemy still threatening over here. We are a bit better positioned in the middle. And we also get a bit of a push towards this spot in the middle. P4 PC gets sniped over here. As the Shilka goes down to artillery fire. And seaplanes coming around over here. Jaguar AT moving around once more. Jaguar LGB coming in as well. As the AA situation is not the greatest. Howitzers moving around. SPW now trying to sneak in here into the middle. Milan 2 versus T55. T55 falling back. Doesn't get hit yet, but the tower is still around with some spies inside, with a Milan 2 inside. So no easy push there either. Both sides hitting each other constantly with artillery. Well, as the Jaguar AT and Seed and LGB come around. S22 Seed trying to find some value here as well. But there are mostly roll on 2s as well now. We get a roll on 3 though, we get the Puma Orchidee. And the roll on 2s start missing their shots. And the rest does miss as well, so the SU-22 gets the job done, killing off quite a lot of forces there. Jaguar AT goes down as well to the SU-27. Seaplane coming around, getting another coup killed. Mi-24V rocket here with ATGMs helping out over here as the Roland went down, and this is a big problem for the French units as well. T-55 though goes down here as well. The Rolands have to help out as the column missiles can blow these guys up quite quickly. They have pretty bad frontal armor, so yeah, Mirages can do it as well. Mirage 2000 coming along, Briusa turned off. As another MiG-29 tries to get in there. Artillery trying to find the enemy here. Crotel did move though. Jaguar cluster coming along. Gets hit, Strela out of ammo. So the SPW, valuable target, gets hit. We are at least more than 100 points ahead, so we currently are on course for victory. But that's obviously not a comfortable lead just yet. More is necessary. Sprengtauchers here trying to move in. Helicopters moving around as well. BMP-2s coming around as a lot of helicopters try to get their rockets on target here against the AMX-30. MX-10P goes down. Roland 2s trying to move forward. Enemy smokes off. Has a lot more Roland 2s come in. BAB Legion in the center goes down as well. No CV for that just yet. MX-10 RC PC on the way, but still a good bit out, and that's good, as that gives us a decent point lead for Mazda coming in against the MX-30. VAB Milan going down up there, whilst Mod Rajvetka under fire in the southern part here, in this little village where the German landscape is getting bombarded the living hell out of. Mi-24V DAAs actually firing the R60Ms. Jaguar gets hit pretty hard, but got a kill and will have to be repaired, sure, but will stay alive. Seaplane coming around once more. Turning around. Coups turned back on, but too late there, MiG-29. Not able to get a hit either, as we have the big push here now coming in again. Helicopters had to disengage. This one here remaining with 2 hit points. Staying low. At least kills the CV, stops that from moving in. T-64s here in a decent spot, as the MX-10 are still around. T-64 OBR gets hit, gets routed, and that's a big problem. Rocket helicopters coming forward, getting a kill. Roland 2 still an issue. Jaguar LGB, that one gets shut down, as finally the CV comes in for the enemy. 500 point lead by now. That's a sizable one. Still not comfortable with 30 minutes remaining. So more has to be done there to try to improve that, and this is where these forces come in here. East German T-55 AM2s rolling in, trying to get forward and get more space. Legionnaire Apilas on the fire. Mazda on the fire. Jaguar seat coming around, finds another coup. MiG-29 diving, trying to chase, but the enemy. We have a lot of planes in the sky right now, and that's the big issue. Seaplanes coming left, right, and center. Cluster bombers and HE bombers following right behind. Su-27 diving pretty deep, as we have the Jaguar coming along here. MiG-29 carrying a lot of rocket missiles at it, and finally gets the job done. MiG-29's coming in here. Jaguar HE gets a decent bombing run, gets shot by a lot of units, and finally goes down. So in the end, still a decent trade for us there, getting it killed. MiG-23 MFs coming around as well, getting a kill, but this is a lot of Roland 2s. 6 Roland 2s here, getting shots out. And these guys not having the best seat situation, so they are in a bit of trouble. Roland's getting some more missiles towards the enemy. My 24 here has to fall back. At the same time, good artillery, good fights here in the center. The Fagot ATGM that got in here in a really good spot. VAB Legion gets killed off as well. So a lot of vehicles killed off, and the blue forces kind of cleaned out here, but at the same time on the push over here. 18 minutes remaining, both sides pretty low down here. MiG-29s coming along again as the Jaguar seat here moves around, and a bit of a mismicro there. I should have gone for the kill, but I didn't want to fly too close to the Rolands. As T-55s here help out against the Legionnaire. Supply going down. Gazelle over here gets gunned down, whilst we have a big push towards the northern zone here, as there are few units inside. Only Legion Mistral right now, and AMX-10 RC Legion on the side. Milan 2s moving forward. Jaguar seat coming around again. There's a lot of units coming its way. Gets shut down before it could get a hit on the coops. Coops started moving again. SPW comes in for the center, tries to gain some more points there. As Motschützen try to move forward. Only one out of Clara there with this formation. Su-27 flying over all of it. As we have still quite a big push here. BMP-2 and T-64s trying their best. Artillery coming along towards the MX-30. T-55 gets the kill. Nothing really behind it. CV here immediately goes down to the enemy again. So stops this from being a tick. Milan 2 around. Crotel around. Legionnaires coming in. More support coming in. A lot more units coming up there. BMP-1s not really getting the kills. Motschützen moving forward. As the Milan 2 in a good spot. T-64s over here. Trying to hold out for now. But good enough firepower all around them. As the enemy falls back over here to try to get out of dodge. Su-27S flying in the rear. T-64 BV and T-55 AM2s moving up. As an AM2 goes down in the north. French Apilas and LRCs. Dangerous launchers. Milan 2 team here in a scary spot as well. And we lack a bit of recon. Enemy with a lot of smoke. At least forces the enemy to bring a lot of units up there. But we try to get a CV in there, and the units that come in reinforcements clean us out. With no ATGM on this spot is a big mistake. Could have been really helpful against that MX-10 RC over there. Whilst MiG-29s come around again. Su-27 flying in the rear. Good artillery shots towards the target here as the BMP-1s get shot down over there. Artillery at least does its job. As MX-10 hot comes around. And MX-10 Hot trades with the T-55. Puma has to fall back. Not that many forces over here. 2 CV tanks, but that's everything. Whilst on the other side, we have quite the force. MiG-21 bomber tries to get the hit up there, but by now, all the red units are cleaned out, so the CV here has to fall back. Conquerors and Fagot teams coming along, trying to get into good spots to shoot down the enemy. As Master and 152mm artillery trying to get some hits out as well. SU-25 AT flying over all the Rolands, goes down. MX-10 over there gets shot down at the same time. We have more MX-10 RC coming in here for the center. Grenadier Voltigeur under fire. Jaguar AT goes down as well. As another AT plane comes in, gets a kill, but gets sniped out of the air as well. Jaguar seat once more moving into the battlefield. As those guys go down, MX-10, MX-30B2 PC comes in, tries to get the take. Cluster Jaguar goes pretty low and gets the cluster bombing drop, goes down, but that's a okay trade against one T-64 there. The amount of Roland 2s here is insane. As enemy moved away there. Mi-24 trying to help out. Mod Red get out of ammo. Everything in the north in a lot of trouble as well. As the units here coming in should just defend against the blue forces there now. Too many of them up there. And the enemy now on the +4. And this is big trouble because 13 minutes on +4, that's more than enough. So we need to stop this again. We need to get some points around. And the only way currently to do that is through the middle. So we need to win these fights. T-55 AM getting good hits. Coops going down here. 2 Jaguar seats all across the board because we mismatched them big time. Is pretty rough. Jaguar HE coming along here, killing off the final one. MiG-23 MFAT can't really do anything against enemy planes. So that's not the solution. We just lost 4 coops there with this airstrike. So complete disaster. Big mistakes. MiG-23 MFAT here flying over all the Rolands as well. There's more planes coming out. There goes the MiG-23. SPW tries to sneak in here, tries to get a capture, but pretty risky play there. MiG-29 and S-27 have to be careful, and MiG-29 gets shot down there. Stahl just a bit too reckless, diving a bit too deep, not quite using the northern airspace enough in my eyes. S-27 just getting way too close to these AA pieces time and time again. Whilst artillery tries to hit them. There's at least one low hit point Roland 2 here, and that one gets sniped, so chances of them hitting reduced a bit. Stress on this one helping out with that as well. Shilka coming up, and we need to get the CV in here. T-80BVK trying to get in. Drone and seatplane coming around. T-55 AM goes down. Enemy tanks all pretty low as well though. Legionnaires going down. A lot of T-64 moving up. MiG-29 coming in for the kill. SPW here. Reduced the tick at least for a while, but realizing that the enemy is out for it, has to disengage. Jaguar seat coming up. Doesn't get hit. MiG-29's here once more flying a dangerous maneuver. Gets out alive, and MiG-29 comes in for the enemy Mirage 2000 F1C and gets the kill there. Oh no, Mirage F1C 200. Jaguar seat trying to get the hit there. There comes the HE bomber. Follows the S-27 as well though, which gets the seatplane and gets out alive. So good victory there. Not so great is the situation in the center where the C-64 BVK gets routed. Jaguar HE coming around for the next one. As AA doesn't quite work. Artillery coming in here. Not really finding any kills. As T-64s try to get some hits out here against the enemy. ATGM flying. Jaguar cluster out in the sky. Seatplane trying to push them back. Trying to get them out of here just by gunfire. Double SU-22 seat can take a couple of enemy shots without being pushed back immediately. And maybe do something like that snipe as well. And it's can help out a bit with air-to-air warfare as well. S-27 gets damaged. As the S-27 over here flies over too many Rolands again, goes down again. And we have to be careful, like air spam, losing the air control here, losing too many of those fighters, and MiG-29s and S-27s off Stahlbrecher have gone down in significant numbers. That's a problem. And S-27, MiG-29 card here coming in though, and getting some decent kills again. Trying to get out alive as the Rolands all aim up. But they split the fire and they don't even hit, so that's good. Mirage 2000 coming along. Tourney coming in the center, and there goes the CVN. And that brings them to a +2 again. T64 BVK has to be careful. SU-27 just gets annihilated by the turning around Mirage 2000. Yes. U55 M2 here. Gets a Mephisto. Has to disengage. Gazelle hot. Shooting. So T55 gets the kill against the enemy leader. That's big. T64 BVK has to be careful. Under a lot of fire here. Tries to get the capture. Doesn't get to disengage, but the next one already up there to take its place. Gazelle hot goes down. Shilka goes down, and 8 minute 50 here remaining as the enemy is closing in big time in the point part. Estrella and Shilka moving forward. T55 AM2B desperately trying to have out here, and we get the point back. This is big. We have another MiG-29 in the sky. A lot more infantry here. Trying to set up shop up north because we still have what to get into over here. And at the same time, a couple of AMX-30s here in the south. And more forces coming in. Try to break through there whilst holding on to the middle. Maybe doing a bit more shenanigans like this. And then trying to break through with a push in the south. Conquers coming up. Enemy starting to really get close in points. Leader there at least killing an AMX-10, that's nice. Enemy coming around as well. Our MiG-21 gets that MX-10 in the north. Whilst Tourney is necessary here. Musta trying to get the enemy CV and immediately gets it. It's the Jaguar seat coming around. A lot of units jumping on it. Cluster bomber coming in. Doesn't get the kill this time around though, as it got hit beforehand and spread out a bit further. And that's key. Otherwise, the enemy would have kept that +2 now. And this way they lose it, and with only 7 minutes remaining, every point here could be important as the enemy also comes in with an AMX-30B2 in the south and starts to get towards the point there. We get to put it down to 2 hit points, but it is still there. Rechvetka coming around the side as well. And a lot of units, this is emergency mode now, as they start to get real close point-wise. Rechvetka over here, get a kill against an AMX-30B2. That's a nice value one, but more are coming up. Commandos can come up. And the enemy now soon only needs to hold some points to not give a takeaway to us. MiG-29 flying above everything. As enemy doesn't have any AA. T-55 helping out against the Legionnaire. Motostrelki stopping the enemy from just moving something into the smoke. MiG-29 coming around against Jaguar HE again. And we get the kill there before it can get the bomb drop out here. SPW coming up as a helping force as well. T-55 moving all around, trying to deal with the Jaguars, trying to deal with the MX-10. SPW and T-55 getting good hills out there, and we get the unit into the zone, but the enemy is ahead in points now. So we need to get the take again, which with a capture of the south could be happening, but the enemy still has good forces there. MX-30 kill with the Mi-24 there is pretty big. Roland 2 not in the optimal spot there to fight us. As the ATGMs keep flying, we do miss with this one though. Roland repositions, gets a shot, MI-24 has to get out, but a lot of blue kills here in the middle as well, where this push at least stops it for now. And if we get a CV back in here in the south, we actually will start to get ahead again. Tourney coming in, hitting the spot. Motschützen and Pioneers coming up. Conquerors coming up. Well, it's a lot of Air Force concentrated around here. Motschützen trying to hold with as many fire support units as possible, but the T-55 numbers and the T-64 numbers at this point started to get pretty low as well. And that is a problem. Conquers going down. We needed more points. T-64 BVK comes in here. If that can get in, it would get more points. But enemy has AMX-10 HOTS, has their CV tank here as well, 3 AMX-30s, so the T-64s had to get some kills quick here. Gets hit first, but gets 2 AMX-30s taken out. We are back on a +2. +2, absolutely enough already. Roland going down, Commandos going down. T-64 BVK though now has to be careful, not running into any side shots or anything like that. And then we need to hold the other side of the airfield as well. And that is the key part. Getting a kill there. AMX CV only round with a command Legion Air here. No other CV directly on the front line right now. SPW gets shut down in the zone, so the enemy can actually get a capture point there, but they don't have a easy way of getting in there now and stopping the tick, and we are back ahead in points. And we are getting ahead further, as we need more than 1 points difference to not have a draw on this map. And that might be possible. Schmeltron goes down, Jaguar Seed coming along. Big wave of units coming in as T-64s try to deal with the AMX-10s here. AMX-10s and AMX-30s coming around, Brennus pushing in, and maybe the enemy tries to go for a last Hail Mary push there as well, but we have enough in the south now to stop that from happening. As we have only 3 minutes remaining. More than 100 points finally in the lead once more, but the enemy still with potential here. Though the one in the south is shrinking rapidly, only a CV left there. What's units in the middle? Under fire, T-64 falling back, Conquers desperately trying to help out, just like this one. And the Command Legionnaire coming up, but doesn't get a capture point just yet. 2 minutes 39, we are 200 points ahead now. T-80 the T-64 BVK gets some hits. Brennus under heavy fire gets routed. More tank shots coming along as the T-64 BVK slowly rolls back in there. Good hits against the MX-30 Brennus. Couple more Motschützen coming around. Brennus over here under fire. Has to retreat. Legionnaire going down. T-64 BVK falling back. And slowly rolling forward again. SU-25 and Seaplane coming along. We get the kills. And this is big, as the T-64 can now move in again. Enemy got a CV in here for a while. +2 there. 1 minute 44 seconds only though. A lot of our units pushing in. And with us getting into the center here for now. Also stopping the tick there. Trying to get to the Command Legionnaire. We have a big blob of units moving in the north as well, but not really much to gain there. So focus stays on the center there. As it's only 900 points to 1,100 points right now. So the enemy would need to take with a +3, +4 to at least get draw here. And that's not happening. Instead it is us getting a score again and making the gap even wider, and that is the nail in the coffin. Really good game of the Frenchies here from our opponents, but they are a pretty special playstyle and they are quite hard to get on this map. This is a pretty packed favorite map because you have a lot of ATGM range stuff going on and the zones are relatively easy to defend on both sides. Like there's no direct center zone, every zone has an attacking and a defending side, and that's pretty good for divisions that have a lot of heavy guns and also good artillery, good AA. And ST22 seed trying to come around, Spies coming around. CV goes down there, and with that, the last couple of seconds start to tick in here. 20 seconds, and Koch surrendering out of there as we finally get a bit of revenge here. And that's where the replay ends. And that's weird because it kind of come in as a. And like we all got the game to this point, but it shows up as a desync now on the replay file, and we have no idea why, because this is the match that we all saw. Like no real desync coming along in this one. Hope Eugen fixes this soon. And yeah, that's why we can't show you the kill feed. One of the greatest units in that one was an MiG-29 that just killed a lot of these AT planes and seed planes for me that otherwise would have gotten a lot of value. So that was nice. And yeah, let me know down below what kind of matchups you would have picked on this map. And see you all in the next time.